Time out! You're listening to Time Out, the podcast for English language learners at YourEnglishCoach.com. I have been an English teacher for a long time, so of course, one of the questions I get most often is, I've been studying English for so long. Why can't I speak it or understand it fluently after all these years? Now, there are a lot of possible answers to that question, some of which we will discuss in future podcasts in this series, but one of the most likely reasons is that although you've been studying English for many years, you've probably been studying English as a foreign language rather than studying English as a second language. Now, the distinction that I'm making is a distinction that is made by linguists and language teachers to describe two basic approaches to language learning. Neither one is better than the other. They are, however, directed at different goals. Learning a language as a foreign language usually means a focus on learning about the language. Students learn the structure of the language, its sentence patterns, grammar rules, long lists of vocabulary words. The measure of success of such a course of study is how well the student can perform on exams that test the student's ability to analyze the structure of sentences, memorize words and phrases. Thus, learning a language as a foreign language is suitable for students who are studying linguistics in general or who wish to do research using a particular language. For example, many students in the field of philosophy need to learn about ancient Greek because they need it in order to study ancient texts written in that language. The focus of teaching a language as a second language is on communication using the language, as opposed to a study of the language itself. Indeed, the phrase second language implies that the language is to be used like you use your first language, your mother tongue. While students must still learn grammar and vocabulary, the focus of learning is not 100% grammatical accuracy, but instead communicative ability. Grammar rules are important only insofar as they enhance a student's ability to communicate effectively. Now, to get back to the original question, the reason many people cannot speak English, cannot use English to communicate, is because their education has primarily followed the foreign language approach rather than the second language approach. Thus, although many students are able to correctly analyze sentences that other people have written, they are unable to communicate effectively. So your inability to communicate may not be because you lack some innate language talent or because you had a bad teacher. In fact, you probably have achieved exactly the result that your language learning method was designed to achieve. It comes down to a very basic principle. You must be clear about your goals in order to choose the best method for achieving them. I'm Coach Jeff, and you've been listening to Time Out, the podcast for learners of English from YourEnglishCoach.com.